Y'all ready to be history?
Get started.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
To the Pro Audio Suite.
These guys are professional. They're motivated.
With Text the VO stars. George Whittam, founder of Source Elements. Robert Marshall, international audio engineer. Darren Robbo Robertson. And Global Voice. Andrew Peters. Thanks to Tribooth. Austrian Audio. Making passion heard. Source Elements. George the Tech Whittam. And Robbo and AP's international demo. To find out more about us, check theproaudiosuite.com.
Line up, ladies!
Here we go.
And welcome to another Pro Audio Suite, thanks to Austrian Audio, making passion heard, and Tribooth. Don't forget the code TRIPAP200. That will get you $200 off your Tribooth. Now, talking about Austrian Audio, they sort of merged with DPA last year.
This time last year, it was announced at NAMM, remember?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of happened again. What's the scoop? You saw this, Robbo. What's happening?
It's an annual event. Well, the whole kit and caboodle's been sold again. I haven't got the article in front of me to know who it was sold to, but yeah, that whole lot has now been bundled up and sold off to someone else. So,
Yeah, well, it was actually a company that they've also got solid state audio. What else have they got? I did have a look. I think they're called
Audiotonics.
Audiotonics, that's right.
The Audiotonics company, and they've now acquired the group of DPA,
Audiotonics.
Wizzycom,
Really?
Austrian Audio.
They own SSL. They own Harrison.
Allen Heath.
Yeah, audio. I know Audiotonics. Gosh.
Yeah.
Now only one company in audio exists.
Wow, they own Allen and Heath.
Yes.
Calrec,
Digico.
Yep.
Digigrid, Fourier Audio, Group 1 Limited, Harrison, JH, Clang, Slate.
SSL.
Jeez,
see, I got to be honest, I don't
consolidation.
think that's good for the industry.
Well, like I said, now
no,
only
I
one
don't think
company exists.
Yeah.
Sonable and Sound Devices.
Yep. So now we just
sound
need
devices.
Google to buy all that,
Yeah. Well, there you go.
or whoever,
Or LG.
Or Apple.
Wow.
Meta,
Apple might buy it.
whoever. One of the three remaining companies.
Well, you know how Samsung bought Harman.
Oh, yeah.
Samsung bought Harman International. Harman International owned AKG. Right. So it seems like I mean, call me freaking crazy, but that's not totally crazy to think that another company like LG or somebody would come along to buy all the IP that they've scooped up by buying all these other companies.
It's like Pac-Man, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is like Pac-Man. You're right. Rocka.
It's like this Darwinism with the big fish eating the bigger fish until
Yeah, that's right.
until it explodes, and then you get a bunch of mini guppies everywhere again.
And then we'll all be paying $3,000 a month for software.
Yep.
Yeah. Or you can't use anything.
possible.
Yeah. I'm wondering how that's going to affect Austrian Audio, whether...
I hope it doesn't affect them, because I think that's part of their charm, isn't it? That sort of little boutique, well, not boutique, but almost boutique sort of feel that they have about them, that personal touch. And
In NAMM, even though it's like this big company and there's DPA, like Austrian Audio still had kind of its own booth. You wouldn't have necessarily known they're owned by DPA when you went to the booth. It felt like...
Yeah, they shared a wall.
Yeah, that's all they did is share a wall.
And they shared a piano.
yeah.
But that's right, yes.
But you know what I mean? Like even in their communication and all that sort of stuff, it always felt like it was personal. And I hope for their sake that doesn't change, because for me, that was a lot of their charm. I mean, the gear's amazing. They don't need the charm to sell the gear, but it was just nice to have that.
Well, the funny thing about Austrian Audio is they're probably the oldest new company in audio.
Yeah, that's right. Totally.
Everyone there is old. What are you saying?
Well, they're not. I wouldn't actually
A bit
necessarily
like this
say
podcast, really, but yeah.
that. Yeah, that's right. Don't know
Well,
much
yeah,
about
I mean, the
medium age here.
actual IP, the actual design of microphones and the concepts, those are the real guys that did it.
The brain, the collected experiences.
I wonder how deep that goes in. I mean, Neumann obviously has controlled their own IP for a really, really long time.
Yeah. By the way, Neumann's bringing back the U47. as a
Oh, really?
reissue.
Oh, that's going to happen,
That's what I heard. I read
it seemed
that
logical
somewhere.
enough. They did it with the U67.
Kind of.
So,
they brought it back as like the TLM 67, wasn't it too? But
No.
No, did a full
No,
U67.
they re-released the
they
U67.
did a full 67
like-
reissue. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, like 3 or 4 years
It
ago.
was cheap.
It was $8,000.
It was cheap. Well, cheap compared to a $20,000 vintage U67, right?
Well, that's true.
Well, maybe. I mean, I just sold, we sold one for one of my clients not that long ago, and I think he got $8,000 for his used one.
An original?
So
only $8?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah.
It must have had some issue or something.
Well, I think it had an aftermarket power supply.
Okay.
And that maybe hurt the value some. But yeah, it wasn't crazy. But yeah, those U67s, I'm sure I haven't looked on Reverb in a while. I'm sure
Well, okay, maybe not so bad.
plus.
$10,000 to $16,000, depending on condition.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But they were always more expensive than the U47, the U67.
No, I don't know. The U47s are, they both have pretty huge cachet. I don't know that a U47 goes for less than a 67. I'd expect the opposite. Definitely the 47 is more rare than the 67, I think.
So right now, if you want something that would be closest to a real U47, you're probably going to buy the Telefunken, and it's $10,000.
Any copy of a U47 is easily in the 2,000 range, and you're probably looking at a warm audio for something in that range, and then up to probably another $12,000, and they all have various.
The warm audio is only $850.
It's only how much? $10?
It's really cheap.
What?
$850
for a tube, a FET 47 or a tube 47?
No, tube 47.
Jeez.
Yeah, with the external power supply, with the fully variable pattern.
But if you want to get something that actually is probably closer to an original U47, you'd probably be sniffing around Microtech Gefell, I would have thought.
Yeah, or even honestly, the companies like Pelusos and those companies, and Stam, I think, makes a pretty good recreates of these things. The hardest thing with the U47 is the Mylar capsule, I think, and then sometimes the tubes. Like you can still get EF86 tubes, but I know that with some of the C12s and the new Vista tubes, some of those tubes, and what the U47 had a metal tube, wasn't it? Wasn't that the thing about? But some of the tubes you can't get anymore. So they're all being sometimes built off of, here's the next closest tube that's sort of like that other one, but somehow better, cleaner, whatever, but not necessarily the same.
Yeah, I thought the U47 had the E86.
The 67 has the EF86.
Okay, because I know my Microtech has the EF86.
Yes, and you can still get those, I believe.
Yeah.
The 47 uses a what? I think it's the metal tube. There's something about a metal tube. One of the mics uses a metal tube.
Well, yeah, that's a big deal. Apparently the VF14,
that's the one.
too.
The VF14.
That's the one that has to be replaced authentically to capture the sound. And I'm reading a thread here from Gearspace from last year. And, that's the big hubbubaloo.
An original VF14 tube, not the mic, just the tube can go for upwards of $2,000.
Oh, God.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to keep my eyes open at some junk shop where there's a box of tubes.
Like some piece of crap other product used VF14 tubes that no one knew about for the longest time, like some kid's toy, and like, oh.
Well, that rumor of a U47 reissue surfaced from, again, this is from a Gearspace thread. Somebody had found a screenshot of them promoting their their audio interface that they sell, that pretty bougie, something 48.
Yeah, that's actually from Merging Technologies, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That they just hot rodded.
But they just took it. They just
bit.
Bought them. They just put their logo on it and went continue.
Yeah. And then in the picture behind that product, there's a picture of a U47 in the background in a very blurred background photo. And people are looking at it and they're analyzing the picture of it and saying, that might be a reissue. I think it's a red.
Is that where this comes from? Because I'm trying to remember where I read it and I was like, they are.
You must. I mean, I haven't seen any other thread about it. That seems to be the place.
I'm full of misinformation, and I'm running. And I'm running.
Well,
for
I mean,
president.
this is how the internet works, right? We just scrape along things as we go, and things stick in our brains, and we remember it a certain way, and that's why we're here, trying to figure out what's the real story.
Yeah, the investigative. Thou shalt learn from the wise tongues of.
Take it all back, Robbo. You can delete this whole podcast now. And that should be our out.
It always just spurs good conversation. That's all I care about.
Well, the other big news is Native Instruments.
Native Instruments, yes.
Yeah. They're in the preliminary. It says here preliminary insolvency proceedings. And it says at the time of writing, it's unclear what any of this will mean for Native Instruments customers, products, or staff. So, but when you think about, as we were saying before this, I mean, you know, there's iZotope, Plugin Alliance, Brainworx, all that stuff that's in there.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, here you go. You know, everyone's like worried about subscriptions versus buyouts. I used to subscribe to Plugin Alliance. 1 year, I'm like, screw it, I'll buy it all.
Yeah.
Perpetual.
Was it a good investment or a poor
I don't
investment?
know, because it's a great investment, probably, unless they go out of business and then you chose poorly, because that buyout was many, many years worth of subscriptions. So there is some true value in subscriptions, and that it's the direct, you know, all these companies are like, why do they do this? Because they over leveraged themselves, and they basically made a bunch of money and spent it and went, oops, and see you. And if they do a see you later, hopefully they reorganize and don't do a see you later. But if they do a see you later, that's a real tragedy for the consumer.
But you think about, I mean, some of those Native Instruments plugins, like, you know, like their synths, like Kontakt and all those sort of things, they're so widely used in music these days. If they go out of business, you know, I mean, I know there's alternatives, but some of that stuff's so wired in these days, you know, that so many people are using.
It'll get bought, I'm sure.
Right.
Well, that's the thing. I mean,
if it's
even if
bought,
you
will people have to
or-
repurchase? Will it get bought and integrated in such a way that the tech is like now?
Well, they already went. Well, like Native Instruments already bought iZotope. It's still like an annoying time period where you have to log in and go, no, do you have a Native Instruments login? And then
I hate that.
you know, so they're already going through that process now.
And actually, one thing that was really frustrating is I bought a Native Instruments keyboard used, and thank God I was able to get this from the person, but I couldn't use the keyboard without a login. It's like, this is like a freaking piece of hardware.
It's a piece of hardware. That's right. Why do I need fucking
piece of
login?
hardware
and
with
it's
a
like the
login
drivers
to
were all
operate it.
bound up with
That sucks.
some login thing, and I was like, what?
Yeah. See, I use Kontakt for my radio imaging, for beds and drones and stuff like that.
And it's great for
And all that sort of stuff. And it's like I haven't bought it out, but I have bought out other stuff that I use a lot from them. Like I use
And think about Kontakt. Kontakt is a whole market onto a market. People sell Kontakt instruments. Kontakt is a player that I could go make a Kontakt instrument and sell it.
There's a whole marketplace. Yeah.
It's a whole marketplace. This is if it goes belly up completely, it's really disruptive, because they are.
I agree.
Yeah.
They are massive.
This article on musictech.com, Williams, who's Nick Williams, CEO of Native, says that the company is working diligently and responsibly to secure a healthy, financial, sustainable future for Native Instruments. And he adds that the Native Instruments brands are also continuing to develop and launch new products and features. Our NKS partnerships team continues to process Kontakt player licenses and NKS partner submissions.
You know, I kind of don't think it's a sign of the times. I mean, especially for a company like that. I mean, I think a sign of the times for a company like that should be growth at the moment, given that, you know, everybody is, you know, building a home studio. I mean, I was doing a voiceover demo with a guy yesterday, and he's in AP would know this, he's in a Pink Floyd cover band that tours the country. Like, they're not just and you know, and he's making stuff. You know, he's making music and putting it up on Spotify and all that sort of stuff. You know, there's people.
I don't know that right now, just in many markets, not just music, that anything is necessarily expanding.
I mean, I just watched the Grammys, and maybe this is just, you know, reading tea leaves or speculation, but it definitely seemed like there's an emphasis on live performance at the Grammys this year. A lot of the hip hop or even R&B or other artists all went on stage and played instruments. A lot of them did. I mean, like, even Justin Bieber, his whole shtick was he walked out on stage and did a looping performance.
Okay. Yeah. Like
Ed Sheeran
sort of does. Yeah.
Did kind of an Ed Sheeran, exactly, you know, and song bored me to death. So I know Justin Bieber.
Yeah, let's be honest.
Just,
I know.
So boring. But, you know, he did it. It's bold. It's, you know, whatever. But, it did show that there was so many artists out there going, here's the music, here's instruments, here's real performance.
I think there is a certain AI backlash that is all part of.
I think it's an AI
It is,
backlash.
absolutely. It's heading back that way big time. But it's funny, though, because look, I'm going to sound old saying this, but the music sucks. I mean, it really does. I mean, I was listening to a station image the other day, and there was this whole hype about, what's his name? The guy from One Direction, Harry Styles. Harry Styles has got a new record out, and it's going to be amazing, and blah, blah, blah. And I tuned in, and it was snooze fest. Honestly, it was like, oh. Okay.
Yeah, the taste of young young listeners, which is who drives the industry, right? Gen Z, whatever. It's pretty low key, dude. They don't like a lot of it. They don't want to be too excited. They just want to like mellow out.
Yeah, but the funny thing is having a 21-year-old with a whole bunch of people the same age, because she comes in and she'll go, I remember I just play stuff to her. She goes, oh, what's that? The Cocteau Twins. I love that.
They love the old stuff. Yes,
they do.
Absolutely.
And you sort of sit there and you go,
yes.
Okay, so when this was new, that was probably 40 odd years ago. So you'd have to be in your 60s, right? Yeah. So my age, and there's all these like 20-somethings all getting into 80s stuff and we were talking about it in the car. We just play different things, and even a band called The Last Dinner Party, which is an all-girl band that she's into. And she goes, oh, do you want to hear this? We're in the car driving somewhere. It's like, yeah. So we put it on, we're listening, and I'm sort of like getting all these kind of things that are making me think, what the hell have these girls been listening to? And is it their granddad that's into stuff? Because, and of course, she went to see the gig, which I didn't realize, and I probably bored you with this story before. But I said to her, that's really weird. That has a kind of a Sparks vibe to it from the 70s. And she goes, yeah. Well, they do a cover of This Town Ain't Big Enough for the Both of Us, which she videoed at the concert. And I remember her coming home and I've forgotten all about it. And she said, I was the only person that when it started, I went, oh my God, This Town Ain't Big Enough for the Both of Us. And they were going, how do you know this song? We've never heard it before. It's because my dad played it to me.
But you know what makes me laugh, though, is the number one song here in Australia at the moment is a song by a politician.
Whoa.
Is that right? There's a politician called Pauline Hanson, and she's done this song. It's about anti-wokeness.
Jesus.
It's number one, like by a fucking country mile. It's hilarious.
I got a really interesting one here the other day. This is great. Abraham Lincoln said watching Melania was the worst experience he's ever had in a theatre.
Yeah, I saw that. That was classic. Somebody in Culver City, right down the street, when they put up her billboard, they spray painted an American flag underneath her chair because she's sitting in a chair, and made it on fire. So it looked like she's sitting over a burning flag, and that one stayed up for a few days until like everybody on Earth photographed it and spread it.
I think it's funny. Was it the UK that they've sold one ticket?
One ticket, yeah, literally one ticket.
And it,
well, I was going to go back
she
to
got her $28
what
million.
kids like.
What does she care?
What kids like in music. One of the song that was like the new breakout artist of the year. You know how it goes, like best new artist at the Grammys. They've been, in the business for 15 years. That's how the shit works. And she, her song, it's called Messy,
Like the soccer player?
No. No, like messy. Like I'm messy. I freaking smoke. I cry. I'm not, whatever. And I listened to it. I was like, what is it about the vibe of the song? I was like, it is literally the rhythm and chord progression from Dreams by Fleetwood Mac.
Classic.
It's exactly
is that a
the same.
lawsuit coming up?
No, I mean, it's not exactly the same. It might be a different chord and it's slower, but it really is this, and that, how simple that song is, right? It's literally a 2-note progression. It's, what is it? E, F, whatever it is. I don't remember what the chords are. Yeah, this song is the same. It's the same vibe, but that's why they love it, because it captures that vibe of that movie song, or the song Dreams. And Dreams went freaking massive when that guy posted a video of him drinking ocean spray cranberry juice while skateboarding, and he used that song Dreams on the video, and that made that song go through the freaking roof.
Yeah. Again.
So much so that Mick had a sit-down interview over Zoom with the guy. This was during the pandemic, by the way. With the guy, and just said, I got to thanks a lot.
I just bought another house. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he sent the fella something too, like sent him some cash.
Well,
or
knowing
something.
Mick Fleetwood, I met him once. He came into work and interviewed him. He came in with a guy called Ken Gradney, who was the bass player, I think, from Little Feat. Anyway, that's a sidetrack. So he wandered in and he was carrying a Walkman. And I said, what are you doing with the Walkman? He goes, I record everything. Every conversation, every interview, everything. And I said, what do you do with the tapes? He goes, when I go home, I listen to them.
He's a unique fella, but I mean, that band is iconic.
Yeah. I mean,
so
like my nephew was setting up his dad's record player, which he was trying to understand the difference between a component system and a system that just has a bunch of things that looks like components with a line through it. And I was trying to explain, there's no outputs to this thing. And actually, there's only one input. But this is how crazy it's gotten. They're all in a battle to play old shit, right? So it's gone back to 8 tracks. His friends are playing 8 tracks. I'm not kidding you.
How old?
He's
how old?
15, 14. He's just getting his driver's license.
So you talk about 8-track cartridges?
The cartridges, basically your 1/4 inch, like, oh, I'm sorry, we broke your song in the middle, and here's the relay on it. Yes. I was like,
I had no idea that was a thing.
And he's got a cassette of
They
Fleetwood
went right
Mac.
through cassette, and then they moved to 8-track.
Well, he's got a record player that plays records and cassettes. And I was talking about audio quality, and I was like, dude, like none of this shit sounds better than a CD, even a record. You might think it does, but only a record in the most optimal situations when it's brand new on a really great player sounds better than a CD. Like a CD just, it's 96 decibels of range.
Them fighting words, dude. You're
I know everybody,
but,
I know. But come on, like just the RIAA
Doesn't my
curve that's necessary
$500,000
just to correct the record in the
turntable
first place from having too much bass on it. Like, come on.
Yeah. It all comes down to how it feels, makes you feel, right?
It's the experience of playing it. It's having the liner notes, it's putting the record on there, it's physically interacting with the media. It's that makes them happy to listen to the music.
Graphics.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, though, when you think about there were just 2 things. One was audio, one was video. So you had cassette and you had cartridge. Cartridge, far superior to a cassette.
Yes.
Cassette wins. And then you had VHS.
Because convenience always wins.
And free licensing always.
Yes, exactly. I mean, MP3 beats CD. If you think about it, somewhere between, I'll give it maybe the LP and the CD is the real peak of audio distribution to the consumer. If you say that DSD and super audio CD and audio DVDs failed, which are technically higher quality, but those never really took off. Who's listening to FLAC files? All that, like really the peak delivery was record and CD, and it just goes
Remember
downhill
video
from there.
discs? Do you remember video discs?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Yeah,
I
that
do.
was
Yeah.
MP3 wasn't free originally, was it? You had to buy a license from
the
company.
You technically still do have to, but effectively for the consumer, it was free. And those are easy, record companies went ape shit when the deck-to-deck cassettes came out, and just the record players that could dub to a cassette, they wanted royalties for every blank cassette sold. They went crazy. They did.
I kind of remember that. Yeah.
And then they went crazy when the DAT came out. Why the thing? Why do we have 44.1 and 48? Mm-hmm.
So to make it harder to make the digital transfer.
They made the CD a specifically weirdo sample rate so that they thought that it couldn't be duplicated easily. And that's when DAT machines first came out, the ones that could record 44.1 were gray market machines, and they were more expensive. The ones that did 48.
Oh, that's right.
And to this day, we have 44.1.
44.1's the standard, though. Yeah, that's right.
Well, for music, not for post. Right?
Yeah, not for video.
And it was just a way to throw a wrench in the ability to copy. And then they had SCUMS or whatever it was called, Serial Copy Management System.
CMS. Yeah.
And that, everyone found a way to get around SCUMS. scums.
Was that the one on the CDs that they tried with? Is that it?
Well, it was on any digital. Basically, it was copy bit was another name for it, and you could make one copy, and then the second generation would basically not allow itself to be copied. But then I forget. But there was just little pass through converters you could get that would strip SCMS or whatever it was called off of the digital stream. They could never win, and then it all ends with Napster. And from Napster on, the whole music business is never the same.
I saw a post the other day. Actually, what was the first thing that you ever downloaded from LimeWire? And for me, it was a cracked copy of Cool Edit Pro.
It was a whole bunch of albums. I got to admit.
How do you remember that?
Yeah.
We used to just.
How do you remember that?
Because I remember going. Wow, look at that. Yeah, that's cool. How do I get that? How do I get that? And then someone said, there's this thing called LimeWire. So you got to get on there and you can do it. And it's
whatever you're looking for.
Yeah.
Like I want the Fleetwood Mac album. There would be like 10 links.
And this is why Native Instruments is going on.
Yeah. Well, Pirate Bay was the other one. Do you remember that?
They got sued and went away, but it's a cat and mouse game. There's always another one.
Yeah.
I did realize though, once I sort of, got to a certain point that it was just easier to pay for the stuff than download cracked stuff because it was never really very reliable.
It also became like a hoarding thing. I remember when I was 20 and, plugins were first out, and then you're just like, I need them all. And back then there were so few plugins, you literally could have them all.
I know.
But even then you couldn't use
hoarding
them all.
Stuff almost put me out of school. I almost dropped out of college because I was up nights downloading and saving to floppy disk, as many apps and software and things I could. I was hoarding like crazy. For no reason.
And crazy things. George, you remember Key Disk Terminator? So
maybe.
Like the keys used to be on floppy disks, and you'd put the floppy disk in, and it would move the key from the floppy disk to your computer. And then someone figured out when CD burning came out that you could make an image and then close the image and duplicate the image and then reopen the image on another computer, and the license carried over.
I do remember that now. Yeah, I do remember that.
It was just like all these crazy ways. Everyone was like finding ways around it.
That's why iLock became a thing.
Yeah. Well, that was iLock. That was Pace. Pace originally started with floppy disk keys.
It always amazes me that people spend hours and hours and hours trying to get cracked copies of stuff, where if they actually went and got a job and earned money for those amount of hours, they could go and buy the real thing.
Well, the software used to be tremendously more expensive too. So
that's the thing.
The $30 plugins were not like most plugins for a long time were $300, $400, $500, $800 all the time.
More than that here.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
A Sonic Solutions workstation back then with the card was what? $60,000, $80,000.
Yeah, with the card was even more, right? And these were in pricing those days too. Back when gas was $1.50.
90s.
I remember buying when I first got Pro Tools, I needed to get the DV toolkit so I could do video.
Right, everything was separate.
I actually had to go because you couldn't download it. I actually had to go to the local music store and buy it and physically buy it over the counter.
Pro Tools, you wanted to import an EDL, then you needed I forgot the name of it, but there was a
DV
separate
toolkit. Well, yeah, that was the thing. It was all on DV toolkit.
Burn a CD was masterless CD. Everything was a separate feature.
Yeah,
you wanted machine control. That was a separate license.
Oh, that was another one. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. And that was another one I had to buy because I had
and that was like $400 or something.
SP Beta in the old studio that I used to have and used to sync to Pro Tools.
You couldn't do post-production without that thing.
No, absolutely not.
Music has been democratized for better.
It has been.
I'd say
absolutely.
For worse.
Well, that was fun. Is it over?
The Pro Audio Suite, with thanks to Tribooth and Austrian Audio, recorded using Source Connect, edited by Andrew Peters and mixed by Robbo. Got your own audio issues? Just ask Robbo.com. With tech support from George the Tech Whittam. Don't forget to subscribe to the show and join in the conversation on our Facebook group. To leave a comment, suggest a topic, or just say g'day, drop us a note at our website, theproaudiosuite.com.